We try to, on a Sunday morning, keep our messages practical, which is why I tend to call them LifeLink services, because they link to life. But this series is very practical, isn't it? Last week looking at worry, this week looking at money, next week, well, what if I could change the world? That's real big stuff, that, isn't it? So, I was looking into all of this this past week. I was reading that Orange County in America, in California, been to Orange County, so I know the area at least reasonably well. It is evidently the most affluent place in America. And yet a few years ago, when residents were surveyed with the question, what do you need most? A number one answer was, I need more money. Interesting, isn't it? And of course, if we were to ask that question in our community, and probably most communities, certainly in the Western world, we more likely would get a similar kind of answer. I need more money. Truth is, though, particularly in Orange County, but pretty much, again, most of us in the Western world, it's not so much that we need more money. We just need to tweak our financial priorities more. The management of money is extremely important. Last week, when I was talking about worry, I said that money can cause worry. So I thought it would be good to spend some time today looking at managing our finances. When we get our financial priorities under control, and I want to make it clear that that never happens overnight. It's not kind of just, oh yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that, sorted. Doesn't happen like that. But when we get our financial priorities under control, we will experience a peace and a contentment that we didn't before. And also we can make a difference to people's lives that we didn't before. So, who likes lists? Some people go, yeah, I love lists. Yeah, you get your pen and paper out now, you can do a list. This is good. 5 items on this list today. I like lists. So, 5 things that we can do to try to manage our finances. Okay. The first one. Decide today to settle in for the long haul financially. Decide today to settle in for the long haul financially. Not just the short-term thing, as I say. Making changes to our finance is going to take time, and it's going to take effort, and it's going to take constant tweaking, and we need to decide this is long haul stuff. This is not just instant stuff. It's not something I can fix in the next few weeks. It's long haul stuff. In fact, it's a lifelong process. And just as we have to continue eating right and exercising for the long term to remain healthy, we need to stay on top of things financial on the long term to experience a real financial blessing. So settling in for the long haul means that we learn how to manage our money and we don't do it half-heartedly for kind of like a couple of weeks and yeah, this is good, I can do this, okay, I'm sorted now. It's going to take changing habits and quite often trying trying again to get it right. So, first thing on the list is you've got to decide it's going to be the long haul, okay? And what I'm suggesting this morning on this 5-item list is long haul stuff. So, second thing on the list, number 2. Start paying attention to what you do with money. And you might think you do, but I think a lot of us don't. And I had the same thing even in the last week, when Ali said, "Can I have some money?" And I looked in the wallet and I thought there was more in there than there was. Where did that go? And I didn't remember that bit going. And I'm sure you've got in that situation where you've asked yourself, where did that go so fast? I broke into a £20 note yesterday and now it's gone. And I don't really have anything to show for it. What did happen to it? Where did it go? I mean, you've been in that situation? Yeah. It's common for most people. So it's kind of paying attention to where our money goes is important, because it doesn't take much for it to suddenly disappear without us really knowing anything about it. And it's common for that to happen, this kind of financial amnesia. But we need to keep a record, we need to keep a track, because that then manages our finance. For instance, I jotted down a few thoughts on this one. For instance, if you buy, and I'm not suggesting all of you do, so whatever I'd say, add your own little item in that you do this regularly. If you buy, say, a chocolate bar each day for 70p, some of you don't switch off and kind of say, no, it's not me. You buy something on a regular basis. So say you buy a chocolate bar for every day for 70p. Do you know how much your chocolate bar costs a month? Without doing lots of calculations, anyone got a guess? It's something the old cogs are going down. 70 times, well, let's say about £20, roughly. 70 times for 30 is about £20. I mean, I'm only playing with figures, but just to give you an idea. And you might say, that's where my £20 went in the month then. I just bought a little chocolate bar, or I bought something for 70p each day. And that's where £20 went this month. Just by that little tiny thing that I always buy on the way to work or when I'm out in the shops or whatever. And that's £20 gone. And if you don't stop and think and learn how much could we spend in a year on one chocolate bar? Quick calculation, £20 times 12, £240. Don't buy a chocolate bar and you could treat yourself to a small holiday. £240. And I say you add in your own little thing that you pay each day for newspaper, whatever. And we need to kind of stop and think and learn, where is my money actually going? Where am I spending it? And even down to the pennies, because the pennies, what was the saying they used to say?
We have the pennies look after themselves.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. And it's true, isn't it? If you look after those pennies, the pounds look after themselves, and that's just the point. And there are probably some other things that you're spending money on without really thinking, because you just do it. You've always done it. And it's changing your pockets, right? The trouble is, the change keeps going and it builds up. So suppose you spend, again, this is now hypothetical illustration, but suppose you spend 70p on a chocolate bar, £1 on a cup of coffee or a drink or something, and 50p on the newspaper each day. If you start adding that through, that's a significant amount of money in a year. Hundreds of pounds. for which every day we kind of think, oh yeah, just a few pounds, just a few pennies. That's where it goes. And don't get me started on things like mobile phones and media bills. That's where a lot of the money seems to go out of our houses nowadays that we didn't have 15, 20 years ago. But anyway, that's a whole new ballgame. But are we really aware of what money is leaving our pockets or our purses or our wallets? Have we actually thought when we're handing it over? That's actually 70p, which over a period of time is going to come to whatever. The Bible says, "Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds, for riches do not endure forever." That's in Psalm 27, verses 23 and 24. What is Solomon saying there? He's saying, know what you're doing in your possessions, what you have in your finances. Know how much you have and how much you're spending. It doesn't have to be kind of hard work, but it has to be consistent. You just have to be mindful each day. So tomorrow morning, when you go out and you go for your pocket or your purse, and I spent that today, and actually I spend that every day, or most days. And that's where that money's going. Being kind of aware of it. Keeping good financial records makes it possible for us to manage our money from a position of strength. And there are then fewer surprises along the way. We don't get to the stage where did that £20 go? Oh, actually I know. Because we're not surprised anymore. So paying attention to our finances. I know when things are getting tight in the bank. I've got an app on my phone which tells me how much money is in the bank. I'm not very happy with what's in there at the moment, or what's not in there at the moment, but anyway, I usually kind of say around the house, that's it. Try not to spend any money now until, and there's normally two key dates. One of them is about the 22nd of the month, because that's after the stipend's gone into the bank, thanks to Rowley. And the other one is about the 15th of the month, when the credit card statement is generated, so the cut-off point. You kind of think, like, I'm spending that much money and there's less going down. Okay, we'll start. We're going to have beans on toast the next few days. Let's just cut off. Let's just not keep on rolling until we get into a financial problem at the end. Let's just keep a record as we go. Pay attention to finances. Here's another thing that we can do. Point 3 on the list. Start putting money away today. And now you're going to say, but I can't save money, I haven't got enough money to save. But actually that's not true in most cases, if you just bear with me a moment. For instance, if you don't take out your pocket 70p and buy that chocolate bar, or whatever it is for you, take that 70p and put it in a jar. You've saved 70p. And you know already what saving 70p a day is going to amount up to at the end of the month, don't you? It's going to be about £20. So I'm not talking about major savings here, but all of us can sometimes just save a few pennies here and there and put them away. Whether it's in a jar, whether it's in a savings account. And again, Solomon said in Proverbs 21 and verse 20, "The wise man saves for the future, but the foolish man spends whatever he gets." And so many in our current society spend whatever they get. I've got money now, I'm just going to spend it. But if we can just train ourselves to say, right, I'm going to put some money away, a little bit, each month. Again, Proverbs 13, a lot from Proverbs. Proverbs 13, 11. "He who gathers money little by little makes it grow." And here's the thing, even if you're saving That's 70p a day and making 20 pounds at the end of the month or whatever it is. If your bank balance, like ours sometimes, is going down towards zero and you think, hang on, there's going to be bank charges, I'm going to go into overdraft or whatever like that. Hang on, I've got some money that I've saved during the month. My 70p's and my pounds here make up to 20, 30 pounds. I haven't got to drop into that zero or below zero. I've just got a little bit of money that'll keep me going for the next few days. So it's a great discipline. Fourth thing on the list, make every effort to get out of debt. And I know getting out of debt isn't easy for those that get into debt, but it is possible. It begins with a commitment to never go further into debt. Okay, even if I'm in debt, I'm not going to get myself in a worse situation, as some do. So you're kind of drawing a line. Okay, I know where I'm at. I know the hole I've kind of dug into now, but I'm not going any deeper. So it's important to decide that you're going to work hard towards then getting out of that debt. Not going any deeper, I'm starting to tunnel out of it. Whatever it takes, however long it takes. And Paul said in Romans 13 and verse 8, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. So eliminating debt is something that takes most people some years to accomplish if they've got into debt. But it is possible, and biblically it's something we need to work towards. Fifth thing on the list, give more this month than you gave last month. Some of you know where I'm heading on this. Some of you struggle with this one. But we have a tendency, don't we, to only give when it's easy to give. I mean, there's a whole Bible story on that, of Jesus looking at people who were just rich. I'll just drop my bag of coins into the offering. And it was easy for them to do that, because they had plenty of bags of coins. And, the widow's mite, she gave everything, because that's all she had. But we have a tendency to give when we can afford to give. Oh, well, I've got some money now left over, if you like. I can give that to the Lord's work, to a charity, to help someone. I've got some spare, so I can do that. And that's how we tend to work. When things get tight, we often then give to God. The offering that we give to God is one of the items that gets cut. That's a bad habit to get into, for at least two reasons. Sublist 1 and 2. Firstly, it shows a lack of gratitude to God for all that He has given to us in the past. And saying, Lord, I know I should be giving to you, but I'm a bit stuck at the moment, so I'm going to leave you out of it. And it's kind of saying, to God. Secondly, it shows a lack of trust in God. So a lack of gratitude, a lack of trust in God for His ability to help us through a rough patch. Again, when we were looking at worry last week, birds of the air and all of that, lily of the fields. God provides. And we need to trust Him. We start saying, well, I'm going to hold back from you, Lord. I haven't, I've got this bill and I've got that bill and I've got to hold back from you. It's kind of showing a lack of gratitude and a lack of trust in Him. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because when things get tight, we don't say to the tax man, sorry, got to cut my tax payment this month because I can't afford to pay it. Sorry, Mr. Taxman. No, it doesn't happen, does it? When the things to sort out our finances and kind of say, look, Lord, I know you are my God. You are the one who provides. That's what Harvest Festival's about. You are the one that looks after me. I'm not going to cut out what I give to you, because you are first in my life. Even above a tax man, you're first in my life. Solomon said again, Proverbs 3, 9 and 10, honour the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. It's a great passage to say, this, I'm putting my trust in you, Lord, because I'm giving you my first fruits. Even above the taxman, I'm giving you the first bit of my income. And then Solomon says, if you do that, if you give him your first fruits, then your barns will get filled up. Then he will provide for you. The Bible also says, you know this one, Malachi 3, verse 10, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have enough room for it. Interesting, God doesn't normally say test me. And it's not something I kind of recommend a lot of, you know, testing out God. But God does say in Malachi 3, test me in this. It's the one area he does say it. You put your trust in me, test it out. You give to me your tithe and see what blessing comes out of it. Try it out, test me. And those that do it know that the Lord is good. So if you currently don't tithe, but you want to take control of your finances, then I would encourage you to begin making an effort to tithe, putting God first, giving to him. And if you have to do it in increments, kind of say, okay, well, like, you know, at the moment I'm only giving 2%, and I know I should be giving a lot more than that, so this month I'm going to give, you know, a few more pennies or a couple of more pounds more, and then next month I'm going to try and increase it. Just move it up, move it up, move it up until you get there. And we know even as a church, there was a time, just over a couple of years, where we really didn't quite make our tithe to give to other people, other causes and so on. And we kind of were struggling. And now we regularly give at least 10%. And most of you know our bank balance is pretty good. I won't say it's, you know, fantastic, but it's pretty good. God is honouring us and blessing us. And that's what counts. The more you give, the more you will bless others, and then the more God will bless you. Okay, drawing this all together. Financial management is, in some ways, a complicated subject, and I can't go over it all in a 20-minute message that we've looked at this morning, because I've barely scratched the surface in many ways. But I hope I've kind of inspired you, if that's the right word, encouraged you to kind of evaluate your financial situation. And, you know, what comes in and what goes out, and how we do that and what we give to, and just kind of challenge you to stop and think about it. So I can imagine you're going home now, and after lunch today, sitting down, opening a bank statement, looking at your purses. Lord, am I spending in the right place? Am I using what I've been given for the right thing? And to look to him. Now, if you kind of didn't take the list in, or if you want to go over it again, go on YouTube or onto the website, and you're missed again, you can stop and think about it for a little bit longer. But I hope it's kind of been a practical help this morning, and a biblical help to really see that the Lord wants us to use what we have for his glory, and not to dishonour him by the way that we use our finances. So let's pray that we have the discernment to do what is right in the Lord's sight when it comes to money, because money is a real touchy subject, isn't it? Some people get very upset and uptight about finances. I hope I haven't got you uptight and upset this morning. But I hope just encourage all of us to head in the right direction on this one. Let's pray for a moment and then we'll sing our last song.